What's up? This is Jordan Gray from Half Lit and Dope Living TV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219 Stand Up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl, Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Trench in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl, Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Greg Gray. This is Dope Living TV Live. We start off by saying the views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. And we mean that really hard tonight, boy. Yeah, so a couple of the guys on the show, they wanted to talk about this. We're in the political, right? We're calling this the State of the Union, according to our eyes. A lot has been going on in politics. Trump, Biden, those are the guys that are running for president. And they had a debate, and that debate was catastrophic. It was terrible. And we as Americans, we the people who vote for these guys, we're kind of questioning a lot of stuff right now. We just wanted to get on here and express something. We invite you guys to come on and hang out with us and say what you got to say. No comment is going to be a bad comment. We just want to express our feelings. What up, Mo?
Hey, what's going on? I'm sitting here cooking. You see, I'm sitting here cooking, man, with gasoline. Well, and it again, it's one of those things, about this political atmosphere that we're in right now. It's just a lot of stuff that just is not being said, and it's kind of like being swept up under the rug. And it's a conversation that needs to be had, not just for the country, but in particularly our community. I mean, we definitely need to have a conversation and get all this misinformation out of the system. So, or help get the misinformation, whether it be on Biden's side or Trump's side, either one. Doesn't matter.
Right. And that's the thing, we try to be partial, and this what's going on right now, to me, I don't think it's Democratic or Republican. It's just let's clarity. Yeah. On what these guys are talking about, and let's get some clarity on what we want to do, get the information right, so that we can have a concerted and clear and concise choice as to what we want to do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like you're saying, it's not Republican, it's not Democrat. It's looking at issues, what's important to you, your family, and the generations to come. This is a pivotal election that for this year in this November. We really have to be mindful of what's happened in the past, what's happening now, and the possibility of what can happen in the future. We can't lollygag and dilly-dally and say, oh, well, I like this one and I like that one. Oh, this one said this one said that. We need to look at these issues. We need to look at these policies. What are they looking or saying that they want to do? And then look also to see if in the past, what have they said they want to do, they plan on doing, and did they actually do that? Did they at least try? Because a lot of people don't realize a lot of times when you come in office, you sometimes have to unravel some of the stuff that has been done or, tweak some things. So it's not like, okay, I want to do A, B, and C, and I can jump in office on day one and just, undo A, B, and C, A, B, C, D, or whatever. It's going to take time, but are they actually making that effort?
So here's my thing.
Well,
Make changes.
Here's my thing. If you know, and you made a statement, now more than ever, we have to get out there and do this. And okay, but what makes this any different from the others?
Well, number one, there's a possibility of this president, whoever's elected this in November, they can appoint 2 Supreme Court justices.
Yeah.
That's number one. There's a lot of things where they want to undo part of the Department of Education, the Department of Justice, Homeland Security. There's a lot of changes that some are talking about that need to be made. But are these good changes for the body and whole of our country? Or is it only for a specific certain people?
exactly.
Are we really for this country? Are we for me?
Right.
Who's gonna kiss my tail? Who's gonna do this? Or are we really looking at the United States of America, which should be united? And right now, I don't truly believe that the United States of America is truly united.
We're in a very painful situation.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead,
right.
Mo.
We're in a very painful situation. And what we have to do is take our circus glasses off. I mean, right now we got this circus crap going on, and it's unbelievable how much. It's kind of like have you ever been to the carnival and you walk up to this this carny deal, and he's saying, you know, a 5-legged cow.
Yeah.
And you know, you pay your money to go see a 5-legged cow. And in reality, it's a growth coming off the back. It ain't no 5-legged cow. This is the kind of stuff and this is the kind of stuff that's going on right now. There's a lot of carny stuff going on. And you know, I'm not gonna point to whoever, but what we gotta do is we gotta relearn a lot of stuff that we were taught. A lot of stuff that we were taught when we were in school as far as civics and government was concerned. The president can't, unless it's some like crazy deal where the president just go in there and change all these laws all at once. The president can't do that, but there are some people that say that's, and again, we got to get the truth. What we got to understand is that to make things happen, they don't start at the president level. They start at the lower levels of government. We got everything from Congress to, you know, people
Senate.
Senate, and you got folks that are local from, and that's how the power turns up on either or, you know, either side. If you have those controls, then you don't have no problem passing things or doing the stuff that you want to do, and that's exactly what's happened right now. You know, you think about what our current president is trying to do, and he's got stopped at every freaking thing that he's tried to do. So they got the powers turned up at the local level, at the very super low level, you know, councilmen and everything, and councilmen and women.
You just said something too, Mo. So you said that our president has gotten stopped at every single thing that he's tried to do. But didn't that happen to Trump as well when he was in office?
It did, but he had more control. He had more people. They just made sure that they got a lot more seats this time around.
A lot more seats and
control.
I'm not saying I'm for this one or that one, but you also have, how can I put this? And it's going to go the wrong way, but that's okay. I'm going to say it, and I say it when I say it. Whereas they feel they're above the law. If you have someone, and that's local levels as well, where they feel that they're above the law, and sometimes things happen and they can slip through with that, I'm above the law, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to change the law. And again, that's local as well.
Yeah.
Where we see it all the time. We're going to do what we want to do, and people are going to, oh, don't swat them flies.
It's only one now. It's one really huge one. He got a saddle on and everything, man. And it's just
big.
I gotta get him, man. I gotta get him. Go ahead.
But like I said, you know, with the local, that's happening locally as well. And we need to vote people in that's not going to feel like they're the king or the Messiah, and I'm
Right.
above the law.
Right.
And like
Willing
I
to
said,
work with.
that's on the Democratic side, that's on the Republican side. So we have to be very serious and vet these people and see who they are, see their past. What have they done? What are they for?
Right.
Have they come in and said, I'm going to do A, B, and C, and get in there and be like, I'm here now. I can do what I want to do.
All right, so we're gonna
You
get
need
into
to get out and vote. You need to get out and vote.
the folks behind Project 2020 away. Civil rights and discrimination laws will be changed and diminished tremendously or done away with totally. That's what Byron says. He says Trump is a felon and is banned from doing business in New York State. If he can't do business in New York, why would anyone want him running the country? Okay, so let's get into this.
Felons can't vote.
Elephant in the room.
Let's get into this.
Felons can't vote.
Let's get into it.
Literally.
Let's start off with the right now. President Biden and former President Trump had a debate last week, and it kind of looked bad, and it looked really bad in my opinion for the Democrats. Okay, because Biden was very feeble, he was forgetting his words, he was stumbling, and then he went, I guess, in order to hide his ineptness for answering questions, he started attacking. What do y'all think about that? This is just my opinion.
Okay.
I think it's just like anybody in a public office and having those type of situations. I think he had a bad night. I honestly think he had a bad night. I mean, because if you looked at him the next day, it was a totally different person.
Actually, that evening, it was a totally different person when he was at his parties.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if that was done on purpose.
Why would you think that would be done on purpose? Because that didn't look good at all.
To lull Mr. Trump in, so that next debate come, shellac his booty.
Oh, okay.
So,
well,
I mean, I'm just putting that out there. That's listen, y'all. That's hearsay. I don't know, but he did look stronger later on. And again, we got to remember he's not a king. He is not a king. Those decisions that he makes are with the help of other people up there, and he's got a lot of help. So
pretty much, it's done in the other branches of government, and it just comes across his desk to sign.
Right.
Okay, let me get a couple of these. Hold your thought, man. Byron says felons can vote in some states, and thank you, Marcy. I was on the wrong
screen.
Wi-Fi. I'm sorry. So it should be better now. Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot better. Yeah.
Robert says the debate was scary because both of them looked ill. Now Gina says just because he stutters and stumbles does not mean he can't run a country.
Exactly.
And that's true. I was a little, when he walked out, I was like, oh, whoa. He did look a little feeble. But then let's go on the other side when you started fact checking.
Okay, yeah, he said a lot of things that were not true.
Fact checking, just say what was true.
We weren't the only. Our country wasn't the only one watching this. Okay,
that's crazy.
When Maurice and I discussed that earlier.
When Biden gets on there and he can't answer these questions, countries are looking at our leadership and saying, okay, he's inept. He can't do this. Okay, now, Gina, I hear what you're saying, but and you're right, because he stutters and stumbles. It doesn't mean he can't run a country, but it makes other countries look at us and say, well, hey, this dude, he's an easy pick and he's weak. All right. He's too old to do the job. All right. And on the other side, okay, because just like we know the facts, these other countries know the facts. So they're looking at Trump and say, well, hey, look, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. All right. Trump is known for going off script, going off what these people have told him to
like
say.
I said, the circus, clowns and stuff start coming out, people in little cars start showing up, and ain't nothing true. So you could have bet everybody's gonna be affixed on the circus. So
And I gotta say again, the views are expressed on the Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. Okay,
Right.
so
All right, went off script,
as
y'all.
we're saying what we're saying, okay, we're just trying to bring out the conversation. All right,
Right.
I'm not saying I'm with one and against the other. I'm just
Right,
bringing
right.
out.
I don't think any of us are. Yeah.
Yeah,
But let's
none of.
look back at that project 2025.
Byron says real quick, debates don't determine the ability to do a job. Joe Biden on an embalming table is preferred over the con man felon.
Now, when we look at this project 2025, and it's the Heritage Foundation that's kind of writing things that, kind of like the book for maybe like the president to go by or something or whatever. And these are a lot of these people. What is that? The KOCH, how do you pronounce it, Coach family? KOCH family, that's the very wealthy.
Coach.
That's really trying,
Koch family.
putting a lot of money into
Koch family, brothers.
Yeah, into this. And they, there's a lot of people that are backing this. And I know when I was looking up the project 2025, it was like part of what they're suggesting is to get rid of the Department of Justice, the FTC, the FCC, to make it where federal employees can be fired on the spot, pretty much like without reason. And it can be, and the thing is, it's like, if you don't agree with what I'm doing and we find out, like say Greg is president, Maurice, he find out, or someone find out you don't agree with Greg saying, you know what, we should all wear red hats every Friday. You can get fired on the spot just for that, for having a different belief. And the thing is, no, I don't know one person that's going to totally agree with whoever is elected as president in this next election. So we're also looking at abortion rights. I do not believe in abortion. I do believe it's murder. That's my opinion. And I'm going to be transparent. I've had an abortion and I've repented and I regret it, each day. It was back in the day. But I do believe, I don't believe in someone telling a woman what they can and cannot do with their bodies. I don't believe that it should be put where the state should make that decision, where it's okay for you to have one because we're saying it's okay for you to do this. As far as I'm concerned, that's between them and God. What they're going to do.
25, Marcella. So according to Wikipedia, it says the Project 2025, also known as the Presidential Transition Project, is a collection of right-wing policy proposals from the Heritage Foundation to reshape the United States federal government and consolidate executive power should a Republican Party candidate win the 2024 presidential election.
It's only one candidate.
Also, for Project 25, it seeks to eliminate the national, I'm going to read this, it seeks to eliminate the National Education Association's congressional charter, which allows for the existence of teachers' unions. They're calling it a radical special interest group that overwhelmingly supports left policymakers or whatever. It also, it's just, there's so many, they want to undo a lot of what this country has done over the years for the rights of our people. And when I say our people, I'm talking about Americans. I'm not talking Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Middle Eastern. I'm not talking any of that, Indian. I'm talking of our people. It wants to do away with a lot of rights and put it to like a few people to make the decision for the whole country, whether it's good for everyone or the majority, or if it's just good for this select group.
Well, that sounds like some Stepford Wives 1950 stuff.
It sounds like some dictatorship.
Yeah, exactly.
And see, I really don't like talking about politics because, once the difference of opinion starts coming in, people start getting different. They start getting defensive. They start, and you're not the one running for president. You're not the one running for mayor, even. You're not the one running for councilman, but you get defensive because of the issues. That's why they get.
And see, that's why I said you need to look. I'm not saying Republican. I'm not saying Democrat. I'm not saying Joe Biden. I'm not saying Donald Trump. I'm saying what we have to do as a people, an American people,
Mm-hmm.
all of us,
Mm-hmm.
no
Now, let
matter
me
what
ask you this.
race, religion, or anything, we need to look to see what the issues are, what policies
Educate
are coming
yourself.
up, what is going to be appointed during this presidential reign, and how is this affecting you? How is it affecting the democracy in America? I truly believe that as of after this election, America is going to look completely different. And I'm not saying necessarily for the positive, regardless of whether it's um, who wins, Republican, Democrat, or whatever. I truly believe that America is going to look completely different. I'm not, and again, we need to brace ourselves. We need to remember that this is supposed to be the United States
States
of
of
America.
America.
We're not going to always get everything that we want.
No.
Now we can't
But-
we can't make it a panic, okay? Either, okay. Now
I'm
some
not
people
making
say
it a
this. No, I didn't say you were. I'm just saying we can't make it a panic
Mhm.
because some people were saying, okay, this is so crucial that we do this, and we got to get it right and this and that. All right.
It is.
Some people say that their votes don't matter. Okay, but here's my take on all of this. All right, as we go about our daily lives, even with all of the past presidents, okay, because things have happened in all of these presidencies. Things have happened to this country different. You got to set yourself up. You got to set yourself up so that this stuff can't affect you as much as it could. Set yourself up financially. Set yourself up mentally.
Okay, so you're saying financial. How can those who don't really have a lot of money coming in, they might not be as well educated as they need to be or have the skills to get a better paying job? And you never know. Maybe they got injured.
You
So
got to
they
know
can't work or something like that, or something has happened. So they might not be able to financially set yourself up.
I understand that, but that's just the game we have to play. You got to know the issues. You got to know what's coming down the road. You got to be able to forecast some things. All right. And once you forecast some things, you never can forecast accurately. But once you forecast some things, I'm not saying that you can totally guard yourself from what's going to happen in the country. Okay. Like, we weren't prepared. Look, when we were younger, gas was $1 something a gallon, 50 cents whatever. Okay. Now it's $4, $5 a gallon, 6, 7 in some states. Some people aren't, we weren't prepared for that. All right. But we now, as it's happening, smoothed out, we got to have gas. So bam, we're paying it. All right. Go ahead, Mo.
Well, I was just getting ready to say, you have to educate yourself on these issues, and pick up those issues that that you want to hurrah, that you want to get see stuff that you see get done. But again, going back to the earlier comment that I said, that starts lower down. It starts as simple as your mayor,
Councilman.
councilman. It starts down there, because the reason why they have the power to do what they're doing right now is because it started there. The turning over Roe v. Wade, all that started way, way back. They were doing that before Trump. So they started that way, way back. So what we got to do is make sure we educate ourselves and make sure we get the power down at the beginning.
Yeah.
Down at the beginning, street level.
Same thing that you just said. Robbie says we as a people need to focus on the political issues at the lower levels in our own community.
Yep.
And I hear so many people, like you just said earlier, saying my vote don't count. Oh, this is just the locals. We need to look at the presidential. That's the main folks. It's not. Look at all the things that's happening in these cities and these towns. And I have a good friend that's very politically connected. And we have these long conversations. Come on, Marianne, come on, get in there. We have these long conversations about politics. And, it makes my head hurt at all of this craziness, that's going on behind the scenes that really has nothing to do with your community, your constituents. And, come on, let's talk. It's always, what am I going to get out of this? And how does you say in the back in the day, greasing your palm or whatever, give me some money. Give me, let's take our country back. We need to focus on mental health, helping our people that, with mental health. Maurice and I were talking earlier. We talked about that, how the prisons and hospitals are, well, not necessarily hospitals, but a lot of the prisons, they're filled with people with mental illness. All they're doing is a revolving door. You do something, someone calls on you because you're not acting as they consider normal. You go to jail. You get no treatment, not at all, and you go back out in the streets to come back in. Then we have the prisons that are private. Hey, send them down here to us. We're going to make money off of them. So that's another thing. Our education. Stop erasing history.
Our history,
as though it didn't exist.
Yep.
Start doing better with those that have mental illness. Let's talk about our veterans who have fought for our country. They're coming back with, different issues, medical and mental issues as well.
Yep.
And I cringe when I hear about a homeless vet who have fought for our country. They've been out there for our country. And you're telling me they're living on the street.
Well, like we were talking about earlier, taking care of our own is so important.
Yes.
First, Republican, Democrat, whatever. Taking care of our own is very important. Rich, poor, it is really unbelievable how far off the beaten path we've gotten on that. Not taking care of our own, in particular our vets.
Yes.
I got a family full of them, and they wrestle and scrape for everything. I got 3 termers done been over there 3-4 times. Came back here and having problems.
Mm-hmm.
And need some help. And they can't get it from the people that promised them the moon and wasn't even dark outside. That kind of thing. So my whole thing is this: until we start taking care of ourselves, we're gonna keep having problems. And when I say ourselves, I don't mean Democrats, I don't mean Republicans, I mean Americans.
Yes.
We talked about this earlier about where we start trying to erase history. Where these people are believing that they got people believing that Black history didn't happen when in actuality it's American history. Period. Good or bad. They're trying to make sure that their kids don't learn it. But that's the same crap that they're repeating from the 50s, where they were closing up schools, public schools, putting them in private schools. And then when we start paying for private schools, now public schools, it just goes a vicious circle where they were trying to erase our history. So so it's going to be another vicious circle of that stuff if we get the wrong person in office. But what I'm saying is this: first, we've got to make sure that our history is taught. All of our history is taught, and it's taught
good or bad.
Yeah, it's taught for one reason, so we won't repeat it.
Boom.
That
period. Right
there. Well, they don't want their kids to feel bad, is what that is.
And that's what I was told by someone, and I was just flabbergasted. I'm like, excuse me? Well, we don't want them to be offended. And, and they might feel bad. Okay, it's not you who have done it. It might be some of your ancestors.
Exactly.
Right.
You're doomed to repeat it if you don't know your history.
That's right.
You're doomed to repeat it.
The big thing about that is whenever somebody says, well, that ain't American history, that's a bunch of BS.
It is.
It's a big.
I mean, go all the way back to when the English first landed, on this continent, and
killed the indigenous people.
And took the land away from the indigenous people, which we call Indians, which that's not what they're. They each have their own tribal name and their language and their own tribal laws and everything. I mean, and then you go to stealing people from their homes, so that you don't have to do the work, and enslaving them, and their generations.
But what's so crazy? We said earlier about not wanting to feel bad about it's usually the ones that are using that to get ahead. You know what I mean? They use that to get ahead, and they elect people that are going to have those same views. We don't need to tell about that because, if our kids found out about that and they going, or whatever.
The moment that anybody mentions reparations,
everybody gets
all
stupid.
hell breaks loose.
Or when they start talking about affirmative action and things,
Yeah.
and look, first of all, if we weren't, and I'm going to talk about now, we're talking about African Americans or Black melanated community. If we weren't held back in the first place in education and anything else, we wouldn't have to have that. If it was truly the United States of America, your skin tone would not matter.
Right.
It would not matter. Everyone would kind of should have an even keel of dealing with education. When you start looking at some of these schools and what these schools certain ones offer, and then how the other ones, they're at such a disadvantage. And when you really look at it, America's at a disadvantage when you start looking at some of these other countries. When you start talking about education and you go somewhere, or you have these students coming from a different country to these universities, and you're like, wow, wait a minute, how you know that? And we're in university just now learning this, and they learned this back in junior high and high school and elementary school.
And
then let's talk about the healthcare.
Right. And you got to also think about that the colored community don't know a lot of things, like there's secrets that are being kept, that are not being shared. Something as simple as some people not realizing that they can go get free health care if they don't have any money. Where are those places at? They're not sharing that, readily, or
business loans and stuff.
Business loans, or even something as simple as how to teach your child, how to start teaching your child at a young age, so that when they get into school, they are, they're above their peers, or they're equal to their peers.
Yeah.
And let's talk about trust funds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't hear a lot about the trust funds, so you can have the generational wealth, and it can carry from generation to generation, and buying property like Gina was able to do that. She was taught that. But in a lot of the schools, and this is across the country, a lot of times you're taught to get your education to go work for somebody else.
Right.
Exactly. Not how to work for yourself.
And fund their dreams. And they trickle down a little money to you to make, just enough to make you, to satisfy you. But then you're still struggling to try to get, what you need, versus, hey, you can be a business owner as well.
Or put you on the Chicken George.
I have to.
Hey, real quick, let me read the comment. Education, mental health awareness, financial literacy, healthcare, and crime. They need to bring back summer camps and mentoring the youth, field workshops, and youth service bureaus.
But see, that's the thing. There are summer camps out there that you don't have to pay for, but they're not being advertised enough. Right. So we don't know about them.
But that's what I was going to say, Marianne. People are their own worst enemies. A lot of individuals do not take the initiative to learn. They don't take the initiative. They put their head in the sand. They don't want to know what's going on in politics. You know how many people I run across that say, I don't care anything about politics. I don't deal with politics. You deal with politics every day of your life. You pay taxes.
Especially if you got
right,
this.
exactly.
Especially if you got this.
Period. They get you coming
is your worst enemy.
Right. You pay taxes on the money that you pay.
Many people, right. And there's so many people out here that say, I don't keep up with the politics. I don't deal with politics. I don't follow politics. You need to know what's going on where you live. You need to know what's going on around you. Not just in your neighborhood, but further on down the line. Right. And that's why I say people are our own worst enemy, because we don't take the initiative to learn things. We don't take the initiative to get in the know. You don't have to be deep into politics, but you should know at least the basics of it, of what's going on, of what, why things are happening. Because guess what? We can sit here and people can get out there and say, go vote, go vote. How many years have you heard that? Get out and vote. Go vote.
A lot of people don't
But
even
if
know how to
there's
register.
no But if there's no action behind what you're saying, it just falls to the wayside. And that's what happens in a lot of these communications, a lot of these podcasts. There is no action behind it. Who's going out there, other than a few? Stacey Abrams, I take my hat off to her. There's just a few that go out there but if you out there by yourself, all the time by yourself,
sometimes you look like
what are you
a
doing out there?
The one thing that I must say is here in Nashville, we know who our community leaders
she comes
are.
to the front door.
Yes, they know, and I don't know if they know every household by name, but I know they know our household by name.
Yeah.
They know all of our kids, and when we see them on the street, and they are actually on the corners waving to you, willing to stop and talk to you about what's going on in the neighborhood and what they're trying to do for the neighborhood.
Town hall
they have
meetings,
and they make sure that everybody knows when the meetings are. So I must say, here in Nashville, they're really trying to make sure, at least we know our representative is really on it. She wants us to know who she is and what she stands for, and when certain agendas and everything comes up, she wants to know how do we feel about it.
Well, when our generations die off and the next generations die off, what do we have left? Who do we have out there to take that baton? The young people are not concerned about any of this.
And that's what
they're not concerned about the debate. They're not concerned about the issues. They're not I'm sitting here concerned the fact that Trump is saying, I just want one day of dictatorship. And I believe if he get the feel of it, it's going to be more than what I'm concerned about that. Who else is concerned? Do you think the 20-year-olds are concerned about that?
Most definitely.
The 18-year-olds are concerned about that? Of
they
course
should
not.
be. They should be.
What really bothers
me affects them more than it will us as older.
What really irks me is when I hear someone say, my vote don't count. I don't care about politics, but they're the main ones complaining about things happening in their community.
Or not happening.
This is not in our community, or this is happening. I'm sick and tired of this. What are you doing about it? I done been downstate.
Right.
But
Even with the mental health
this is
crisis
the issue.
response
This is
team.
what irks me even more, Marcy. What do we do to make those changes? What do we do? Where's the action? We need action. We can talk and talk and talk and talk.
We need to get
How
out
do we
of
make changes? And it's more than
that
just
is
let's
the
get out
hard
here and
part.
vote. It's way more than that.
Exactly.
It goes further
It is.
than that.
But exactly what Maurice and Marianne are talking about it, how their politicians are out there in the streets. We need to hold our politicians accountable.
Exactly.
In your area, start talking to them. Ask them. If you don't see them around, I live in Maryville.
I think it starts at a more level than that. I think it starts at a different level than that, in my opinion. I think it starts at a level where you're getting the younger people involved in such things. I don't care if the politicians go out and knock on your doors and do whatever they want to do. It's not going to make a change.
But that's what I'm saying. Here in Nashville, and I know that I don't know about the other areas in Nashville. I just know about our area.
District 29.
District 29. Denisha definitely, she goes out and she taps everybody on the shoulder and say, what do you need? What can we do better? How can we improve our area? Because our area was going down, down, down. They were moving all the people out of the projects over into our neighborhood, and the crime rate was going up, up, up. And it was like, do we have to move just in order to be able to have nice things, continue to have nice things? Because when we first moved here, we wouldn't even lock our doors. We just go to the store, come back.
Let me ask this, Marianne.
I was back from the 60s.
Let me ask this question. When did it make a difference to you? Was it when you turned to move to Tennessee? Was it when you got in high school? Was it when you were young and you saw your parents? When did it make a difference to you?
For politics, you mean?
What's happening in the world?
When I got into college, that's when it made a difference to me, because in college, it opened up my mind to new possibilities. education is the key. That is definitely key to everything. We need to educate our, I'm not saying that everybody's got to go to college. That's not what I'm saying. When I say educate, I'm talking about in our school system, we're trying to educate our children, but they're going home to parents who can't even do the work that they're doing.
Exactly. And that's the point I'm trying to make. It started long before. It's you probably heard it in your household. Maybe your parents talking about what was going on. Maybe they were sitting around the television watching the election, watching campaigning.
My parents,
that's why it was
active.
Implanted in you. But where is it being implanted in our younger generation at this point?
And see, that's where the learning comes in at, because like we take our grandson every time we go vote. When he was little bitty, he knew, okay, it's election day. We're gonna go vote. And the whole family
went to vote.
It's a whole, our kids, they went, our grandson, he went. It was the whole family going to vote.
Being implanted. It was being implanted into
with
them. What about that's one household out of millions that is not being done to. And so they don't care what's happening. And so if they don't care what's happening, or just like Robbie said, people don't deal with issues they don't understand. So if they don't understand what these issues are, of course they're gonna put their hand in the sand. They're gonna walk away from. They don't care. They're gonna live their life the way they live their life, and it doesn't matter to them.
Okay, hold up 1 minute. Hold your thought, and then I want to talk about what you're talking about also, Jen. I want to jump in. But before we do that, let's take a quick break. Let's hear from the CEO of Life, Miss Rachel Gary. Let's hear some little nuggets that she has to say.
Did you get frustrated because something did not happen the way you wanted it? It happens to the best of us. Working from the fact that things are going to happen, but don't let it derail you. You keep moving forward. Because as the CEO of my life, I am in the driver's seat. So don't allow emotions to drive the car. You drive. Until later, be up, out, and moving to the greatness we all know lies within who? You, CEO.
Amen. But you know what, Gina? Like for me, in 6th grade, I went to Lincoln School, and I love that school. Schools are not the way they are now. We did the whole election for the 6th graders. We went deep into the elections where we had a
mock ballot.
We had the mock ballot. It was me and LaTanya Allen. Me as vice president, LaTanya Allen chose me as her vice president, and Howie Bandy, he's no longer with us, and Mark Scoggins. They won, but we went through the whole process of learning about the elections, learning about the government and things like that, and it instilled in us about that.
Well, where do they do that now?
I talked to my two.
Where do they do that now?
That's something that we need to talk to our school boards. We need to get that back into the schools. We're talking about it now, but like you said, where does it start? We need to start, holding our school boards.
It does start with us. It starts with us being accountable, because we are the ones who should be dropping those seeds, just like our parents and our grandparents dropped those seeds. But we should be the ones out here educating and that's and again, not just in your own household, but outside of your household, because one household is not going to make it.
But you think about this, back then we also had Schoolhouse Rock on TV, and that was teaching us about government too.
See, we're getting so life. The way things are now is such a silo. Everybody is in their own silo. It wasn't like that when we were growing up. So we are the ones who need to make a change and make a difference, not just talk about it, but actually be the ones to make some change. If we can talk about it until we blue in the face. But if we don't make any moves, we're just gonna come back to another conversation like this.
Yeah. Well, I truly feel
we're gonna wait until we get a dictatorship, and life as we know it would never be the same.
Nope.
That's what's going to happen.
You
So
know, the
so
young people that walk through this house, we talk politics to them and
mhm,
religion.
Yeah.
You know, it's always a conversation. You know, you know when you step through that door, you don't bring up one or the other without it getting heated. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
mhm,
but it's all with love, and they know that
It's just an
if
education
they
thing.
want something changed,
mhm,
they got to make sure and be a voice for it, you know. And this is not just our biological children, this is our children, you know,
God's
we
children.
call our surrogate children, you know, that
mhm,
come through. And I remember one time my daughter, she brought one of her friends over, and this was when Trump was first running, before he got into office.
Yeah.
And
She was a
we had a
supporter.
yeah, she was a supporter for Trump, and we had a very heated conversation
mhm.
about him at that time, you know. And like you said, Gina, a lot of them don't go out and vote. They want to talk about everything, but then
Mhm.
they don't want to go and
And
do the
vote.
action, you know, that
Right.
is going to make sure that
Yeah.
they get what the results that they want.
Mhm. So some of the things that
Mm.
is sounding that we need to do, we need to talk to our school systems
Yep.
to see if we can get things of that nature back in. And one thing that I did like, when we were doing the elections, they weren't at that time talking about, okay, we need to all be Democrats or we need to all be Republicans or whatever. They were teaching us to
How to get
look
stuff
at
done.
the issues in the country, look at the different policies, look at the history of what the people who are running, what is their history, what have they done in the past, what are they for, what are they not for. So what's important to you, your family, what's important to your community. So that's some of the things that we do need to look at. And I do also like how you said your politicians are coming out knocking on the door. What's important to you and your family? Let's see what we can do here in the community as a whole, because there are going to be some families who don't
Mhm.
care about
Exactly.
politics. They don't care. They just want to sit back, complain, and do nothing. But then you have the families that would like to do something. So we, the parents, the grandparents, I'm a grandparent, we need to not only just talk to our kids, talk to, to the neighborhood kids. And again,
Mhm.
not trying to steer them to one or the other, or one branch of government or the other. Let them make their own decisions, but teach them how to get out here and think for themselves and look around and see, are you happy with your community? Are you happy with your state? Are you happy with your with your country?
But you
What,
know,
what,
the one
what?
thing that me and Maurice we found out, especially once we moved to Tennessee, that
Mhm,
you know they'll ask you real quick, so are you Republican or Democrat? And we're like, well, we're neither.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we vote for the candidate that we feel
They can
can
do
do
the
the best
job.
job.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
I'm the
I don't
same way.
care what party they're
Mhm, mhm.
from. You know, but now we get so many candidates who do not tell you what they're
With the
running
affiliation.
on.
Yeah.
What's your platform? We
That
don't
means you don't
know.
vote for them, as far as I'm concerned. We had one like that, and it was like, so what are
Hmm.
you for? What? Are you just running just to be running? What are your beliefs? What? What am I going to base? Why am I going to
But
vote for
see,
you if
that's
I
how
don't know
come.
what to
But
base
see,
it
that's
on?
how come so many people don't go out and vote. Is because they don't know what the platforms are. What are they running for? What are
But
they
they need
standing
to
for?
check. They
So
need to research it.
they say, oh, yeah, oh, and I've done that in the past too, where I'll look up a candidate to see, you know,
What is history?
what their history is,
In a heartbeat, I
and
will.
what they're running for. You know, what's their platform? What's their voting record like if they've already
Hmm.
been in office? You know,
Yep.
and you find out so much on the internet. Even here in Tennessee, you have so many scoundrels.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
God.
throughout the country.
I I have
Mm.
never been somewhere where we had one guy, what was his name? Something Ford. Um,
Oh.
and he was siphoning money off of the state.
Yeah.
And
Oh
he
my.
was running to be a governor of Tennessee. And we're like, how do you think you're gonna be the governor and you siphoning money?
Hmm.
And
How
it
you think they ain't gonna find
and
out
it's
about that?
wait a minute,
Yeah.
it's not that they found out about it. They prosecuted
Put
him
him in
for
jail.
it. put him in jail for it. He
Got
got
out of
out of jail and started running for
again.
governor.
Mhm.
What the?
He
Damn.
probably won, didn't he?
I
No,
didn't
he
say,
didn't.
did
No,
he
he
win?
didn't. No, they
Oh.
had enough of him.
Yeah.
They ran him out of town.
Yeah.
They had enough of him.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
crazy. I mean,
Notice I've been really quiet this whole
I'm
show.
curious. I'll just say, Greg.
I
Really
mean, it politics affect a lot, you know, in our lives, and
Affect everything in our
sometimes
lives.
everything in our life, and sometimes we get to the point where we don't say, we just do, and you know, a lot of us just do.
That's
We don't
that's
educate
us.
the
We just
next
do.
person, which is our job, is to educate
Yes.
the next person about. I mean, if they ask how you feel about it, tell them. If they don't dig
Be
it, just
honest.
say, "Hey, I
Mm-hmm.
did what I was supposed to do. I
Yeah.
gave you the message." You know,
And they
This
might
is
not
my
agree,
opinion.
and that's okay.
Exactly.
It's okay.
it's all
That,
right.
you know, because we're not going to always agree on everything. But
Exactly.
my thing is, get out there, find out, you know, who's running. Again, their platform. Also, another thing you need to look at: who are the people that's backing them,
Right.
funding
Mm-hmm.
them,
Where's their money coming from?
and yeah, because that tells a lot right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know about you, but if it's someone that I'm not, you know, in agreement with a lot of the stuff you're doing, I'm not trying to get no money from you.
Well, if they got big corporations backing them, through like, because you can't have like a business, right? But you can have like a rich person that owns that company, you know, backing you. So you gotta have to look up and see what who's backing them, right? And then you got to do a little more investigating. How did they get their money?
Right.
You know,
Boom. What was promised?
exactly, because there's going to be a day when he's gonna have to pay that back some kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're great.
Look, we didn't get a chance to talk about the Supreme Court immunity, all of that stuff. We didn't get a chance to talk about that, but that's fine. That's fine. We can table that for another moment. But this is a conversation, man. That number one, it has to be talked about. Like I said at the beginning, I really didn't want to talk about this, but I love the way that you guys passionately talked about it and explained and thoroughly explained exactly your positions. I appreciate the fact that you guys are passionate about it, because it can show people that, you know, it's not just me. I care about everybody. You guys are so passionate about it. And Maurice and Mary, you guys gave an example about your community and how it should start at the grassroots, right? At the, you know, your councilman knocks on the door. Okay, I think that's fantastic, actually. All right. But that's the microcosm of the bigger picture. And if people start looking at the grassroots, at that small part, it grows. And if one person tells somebody, just like they used to say on the commercial, you tell one person and that person tells someone else, and so on and so
Word of
on.
mouth. Mm-hmm.
Got to get it out there, right? We'll do this again. We'll definitely do this again, but we got to get out of here. Marcy?
People, do your due diligence. Yes, we do need to get out there to vote, but like Gina said, and Maurice and all of us said, we need to start when pretty much when the kids are younger. Start acclimating them to this, to what's going on. Don't be like sometime back in the day. This is adult conversation, and send the kids out the room. When things are happening, make it appropriate to their age. They don't have to know everything and the nitty gritty, ugly part of it, but make it talk to them about it. Let them see why it's so important as they grow up to be involved with politics. And when I say involved, not necessarily running, but it's good if you can, but to know what's going on and just get involved with that. Talk if there are young people that are watching. Talk to your schools. Tell them you want to learn more about the legislative branches of the government. How do elections really work? Starting from the bottom, going up to the top. Like a lot of people didn't realize that the president pretty much signs off on what the Congress and Senate already goes through. He's just signing
Right.
off on that or whatever.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't realize that. They're thinking, oh, the president makes this decision and that's it.
No.
You know, start looking at these things.
Yeah.
More and more.
Everything that Marcy said, plus again, it is A1 110. Please, Lord, educate your families, educate your friends. You're gonna have those that are gonna disagree with you, but you did your due diligence and said, you did what you're supposed to do, and you educated them on what needs to happen.
Mary?
You know, like Maurice said, you keep family in it, you know, and you start from the little all the way up to the big, and you make sure that you start investigating for yourself. Go and everybody has the internet now. There is no reason why you don't do some investigation on your own, you know, to find out what these candidates stand for. You know, don't just listen to the news, because the news only is going to tell you one side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What's that?
With Jeremiah.
What's that? What is all that about?
Let me speak my mind. Oh, you're late.
Yeah.
You're late to the game.
You're late anyway. You're late.
5 minutes late. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He just got home. Jeremiah. He just got home from work.
Tell him, say what's up. Proud of him.
Yes.
Your head back in.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what? I just want to say, if people want to keep their heads in the sand, pretty soon their head is going to come out the sand when it hits home. And by that time, it's too late. Changes have been made. If you look around right now, the world has evolved a whole lot from what it used to be. Things have evolved. I don't even know, do we still have government and econ in school?
No.
I don't even think we still have that in school.
Are you serious? No?
You do?
Yes, we do.
Jeremiah said they do.
You know, and
it's required.
It's required.
Okay.
It's a required course. Well, that's a little bit. At least there's some type of government that they can learn.
Before senior year.
Before what
That's
year
good.
you y'all started?
But
senior
you know
year.
what? Everything
before that.
Every decision, all the decisions that the government makes, it will affect us. It's going to affect us in some way or another. It's not that you can't just sit back and say, I'm not in it. My name is Bennett. I'm not in it. You can't just sit back and say that, because it's going to affect you. And then when it affects you negatively, that's when you want to make a change. That's when you want to holler. That's when you want to say something. It's too late at that point. Yeah. But I just wish we could get back to the days when I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill.
Sitting on
Why can't we go back to that? No, that's when government politics was simple.
Everything.
Yep.
But believe it or not, that education part of it made it real easy to understand what was going on up there. And if a lot of people really understood what was going on up there, they would find out soon. I mean, they would realize very soon the reason why this 2025 project is going to want to eliminate everything and only the president is because that process is hard. It's right. That process has to happen. You know, it has to happen.
Now that Mo took away my minute.
I apologize, my brother.
I'm messing with you. Me personally, like I said, I don't like talking about politics because it breeds contempt sometimes. But it has to be talked about. And if we start at the small level and let our voices be heard, we're going to educate people, and that's the key that I've heard from you guys. People need to know exactly what's going on. Period. We don't know what's going on. We're setting ourselves up for failure. And as much and let me tell you this, Marcy, as much as I talk about preparing yourself so that this stuff won't affect you, I don't care what you do, it's going to affect you in some way.
It definitely will.
And
it's true.
I want to make sure that everybody understands that, again, we the views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates, okay? But we are doing, and we had this conversation to educate people, to let people know, number one, that we do care, and number two, that we need to be I forgot the word I was going to use, but we want to be transparent with everyone so that everyone can make their own decisions. But at least give them a couple of little things to go on so that they can make a better decision. We have two gentlemen that are running for president. To me, this is the most crucial and risky time for us. So let's all just think about it. All right. We can't all sit on a grassy knoll and wait till they drive down the street or in the car and shoot them and hope that we get two more people. But
the most important thing that we can do is go vote. Go vote your conscience. Go vote and pull somebody else along with you.
Yeah, do your research first, though.
Yes, and vote.
Don't just go vote. Do your research.
Do your research and then go and vote.
Hey man, let me shout out my man Sharir Ahmed Shakil. We're having a conversation as we're talking here. Okay, he's got some things. We're going to talk after I get off the phone. Actually, after I get off of here, but got some things that he want to talk about, and that's going to make sure that we continue this Dope Living TV thing to a bigger level. So. Thank you guys for hanging out. Okay, we got a lot of people, even though it don't say so. There's a lot of people that are watching. They just people. When we offer you the opportunity to come on here and express yourself, do it. Nobody's gonna get you. It's all right. Yeah, we can talk about it. All right, we can always talk about it. Anything else, y'all? Y'all want to say anything else? We can go over.
No, not here. I want to wait until after the convention. We got the Republican convention coming up this month, and then we have the National Democratic Convention coming up next month. And after these, I think we should revisit this. Definitely, like say that's August, between September and October, before the actual election. Let's see what happens after the two conventions. I'm not sure. Are they planning on having another debate? Or are the vice presidents, once they name, the two candidates name who they want for the vice presidents, are they going to debate? But we need to kind of revisit this. And in the meantime, let's talk to people and see, what are they doing to make a change for our country? Because I truly believe that our country is not going to be what it looks like now, regardless of who get in.
And let's not forget to support everybody that we always talk about. Support these people. Barter Black. Make sure that we can support each other, give to each other. If I got something that you can use, you got something I can use. Let's switch it up. Let's barter with each other. Shout out to everybody that just celebrated birthday. I'm not going through all of those names, but I know who you are. So I'm saying happy birthday to everybody. I know you're watching. Who else? Shout out to Blake. Blake is doing this thing. Okay, he's going to make a tremendous move.
Love his voice.
Shout out to my girl Naquasia. Shattered. It's out now.
And
she's watching.
Baby.
Thank you, Naquasia. And let's just continue to support, talk, enlighten, and we're gonna sit here and we're gonna entertain. All right. Dope Living TV Live, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Now we're not gonna be on Thursday, so because we're gonna pop firecrackers and do all of that other shit.
And we're gonna pop some barbecue.
Food.
Some other, we probably gonna wind up at Gina's house, okay? Because you know how they do on the 4th. They got the big backyard.
Invite himself over to your house, Gina, on 4th.
What you doing?
Okay, I'm coming.
Robert gonna be grilling some deer meat, some deer meat and some raccoon.
Wait.
Sound like my ex. Sound like my ex. That's how they
Yeah.
Gina, you get that look like
got that raccoon going on.
You said raccoon.
Now we go.
Game.
We're gonna have some Billy Goat's gruff on the grill. It's gonna be all good. Let's get out of here.
Which house is that I'm not going to? Which house is that?
I'm not gonna be at that house either.
I need cow, pig, chicken, fish.
Wrap it up with some soft taco bread. It's Dope Living TV Live, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow. All right.
Peace.
Adios.